I'm James Slevin, the Director of ICHEC, the Irish Centre for High-End Computing. And here are our offices in Dublin, our Dublin offices. Here's where our researchers meet with our staff, interact with our staff, engage with our staff in solving problems. The offices consist of open workstations, offices, breakout areas, a 3D visualization system to allow our users to look at complex problems in 3 dimensions, and a conference facilities that allows our staff to interact and talk to people off-site. So what you're about to see now are the views of some of the users that we worked with over the years, and then we'll talk to you about their experiences with working with ICHEC.
We stay focused on what we're good at, whilst identifying and utilising key providers of these technologies. One such technology is the area of high-powered computing. This is very important to the company, and indeed as we grow and develop, we find ourselves increasingly in this arena. The key for us, however, is that we move in there with an established key provider, namely ICHEC. We consider ICHEC to be an industry leader within this field, as evidenced by their recent partnerships with players such as SGI and NVIDIA. So this is evidence to us that they are future-proofing their technical solutions and their technical expertise. Secondly, we recognise the huge expertise that exists within the team here working on current and leading-edge technologies. As part of our assessment, we provided ICHEC with a piece of fairly sophisticated seismic imaging code for their assessment and for their analysing and testing. On the due date, we received a very professional and comprehensive report detailing the workings of this algorithm. Importantly, they were able to map out for us the intense message passing that goes on within this algorithm. From that, we could identify bottlenecks and areas of future improvement within the execution of the code.
ICHEC guarantee compute time for us on their supercomputers 4 times per day for our operational forecasts. Their supercomputers are available 7 days a week, 365 days a year. On the supercomputers, we run our HIRLA model. We have 3 configurations: one Atlantic configuration, which runs to 48 hours. We have a nested configuration covering Ireland and the UK on a 5-kilometre grid that provides forecasts up to 30 hours. And we also have an hourly, what we call an hourly configuration, which provides up-to-date guidance for our aviation forecasts as well as some web products. At the moment, we're also running in pre-production the next generation mesoscale model called Harmony. At the moment, it's running on a 5-kilometre configuration covering the islands of Ireland and the UK. ICHEC's importance for Mid-Éireann. ICHEC provide us with a supercomputer for time-critical applications.
The key for a bookmaker trying to adjust his prices to the information that has just come out is to be able to calculate the impact of that event on the outcome of the game and various outcomes of the games in as fast a time as possible. That's what led us to engage with the Irish Centre for High-End Computing. We've had a meeting with them this morning regarding parallel processing. It seems to be at the cutting edge of what we need to do. GPU programming, we believe is the way forward for Paddy Power, the trading room. It's hopefully going to be compatible with our goals in the short to medium term. And the meeting this morning went very well. Their approach was very positive. They understood our requirements at a very technical level, and were able to reassure us that they had engaged with industry like us before and had been able to solve the kind of problems that we have in a reasonably short space of time. And what I was impressed with most was their willingness to not only to deliver the solution for us, the black box solution, which is desirable, but ultimately if something goes wrong down the road we'd be in trouble, but they were anxious to ensure that there was knowledge transfer as well. So it wasn't going to be here's a solution and don't ask it how it works. They were very keen to have us involved in the delivery of the solution, involved in the architecture of the solution, and were keen to educate our staff along the way, which I found was a very positive way to look at things, because a lot of places would be quite insular about the transfer of knowledge. They'll give you the solution and then they want you coming back for phase 2, whereas I found ICHEC were very willing to focus on knowledge transfer as being the key component of our dealings.
One of the key differences with EasyTop with regards to other systems is that, unlike an airline or unlike renting a car or buying something from Amazon, whereby you might need a couple of days in order to check if someone is a fraudulent user or not, we need to make a decision within 10 seconds because we need to deliver that credit to the mobile phone immediately. So we have that problem of a huge element of fraud, and we had decided that we needed to speak to a number of different academic institutions within less than 10 seconds, and at the moment we're looking around 600 milliseconds, so very much within our timescale. ICHEC are able to identify whether or not a user is fraudulent or not, which is a huge benefit to our business because we are able to, one, reduce our level of fraud, but what's much more important to us is ensure that no real users are mistakenly identified as fraudsters. And therefore we're very happy with our relationship with ICHEC for the last 6 months. A fraudster might come from, how long they might spend on the website, what's the type of applications they might use to access the computer, and therefore maybe some elements with regards to where the credit cards are originating from, if the name is an English name and it's using a French credit card, for example. So a huge range of elements that ICHEC have looked at for us, and have now come up with a list of exactly what identifies a fraudulent user to us. We're currently in the process of testing the system. So ICHEC have provided us with a system that we can test every transaction that goes through, and we're in the process of refining what the system that ICHEC has given us. So we're refining these criteria of what is a fraudster. Once we've come to an agreement with ICHEC as to exactly what a fraudster is, we're then going to move into phase 2, and we're really excited about phase 2, which will be starting in the next couple of weeks, and we expect that to last for about 6 months. In phase 2, ICHEC are going to provide us with a single black box that will sit in the corner of our data center, and they will monitor every single transaction that goes through our systems, from easytop.com and from our partner websites. And within less than 10 seconds, and at the moment we're looking around 600 milliseconds, so very much within our timescale, ICHEC are able to identify whether or not a user is fraudulent or not, which is a huge benefit to our business because we are able to, one, reduce our level of fraud, but what's much more important to us is ensure that no real users are mistakenly identified as fraudsters. And therefore we're very happy with our relationship with ICHEC for the last 6 months.
My name is Jesse Desplat, Associate Director of ICHEC, the Irish Centre for High-End Computing. So my role within ICHEC is really to look after the day-to-day running of the centre and more particularly the operational management, technical management. So we are here today in our Dublin offices, which we call the Hub for Computational Science in Ireland. We call this the Hub simply because we designed this as an open space. It is a large open plan office where our academic researchers, industrial customers can actually come to our offices and engage, work beside our staff together on solving the problem basically they have to solve. What that means in practice, we have a number of researchers, typically 2 to 3 at any one time, spending time in our offices. It could be for a few hours, it could be even for a few days, and literally working with our staff on various aspects of their problem. Typically, it's all about writing computer code. It could be about optimization. Whatever the user or the researcher wishes to do, our staff accommodate their wishes, their requirements.